Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Stay firm. Sending that right foot back. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Alexis Faye Yoga. I'm so very glad that you've decided to join me today. For today's class, we are doing an intermediate yoga flow. So I'm going to be doing a little less describing of poses and moving a little bit faster than I normally do. If you are not at an intermediate level yet, that is okay. You can still do this flow along with me, but make sure you listen to your body and cut out any poses that don't feel within your means or your practice today. And feel free to add as many child pose or resting poses that you feel you want. You can also skip over sections if that makes it easier for you. But I'm very glad that you've decided to join me today. We're going to start at the top of our mats, finding a mountain pose. Picking up the toes, we'll spread them out wide and set them back down. Lifting the shoulders up to the ears, rolling them back, opening the palms. Big breath in through the nose and back out. Good. We can keep the eyes closed if you'd like, or you can open them. But we're going to reach the right hand down towards the floor, taking the left hand to the top of the head and gently pulling the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Nice and long from the right finger all the way up through the top of the head. Gently coming through your center. We'll do the other side. Left arm goes long, right comes to the top. Pulls the shoulder over. Again, gently releasing. We'll take pointer and middle finger to the chin, pushing the chin back, giving us a few extra chins. Dropping the chin to the chest and rolling forward. Slowly bringing the head up again. We'll take the arms nice and wide as we move our weight into our left leg. Picking up the right, we'll hug that right knee into the chest. Keeping the knee where it is, or trying to keep the knee where it is, letting go of the arms for our staff pose or our soldier pose. Putting a little bit more softening to the hips and to that left knee. We'll point the right knee out in front, left toes go back behind. So we're kind of doing a fire hydrant movement with the leg. And then reaching with the toes back behind for our warrior three. We can take hands to airplane. We can bring the hands into the chest or take them out in front. Lifting from the chest as we take that right foot behind the left leg, drop the heel down. So we're kind of doing a sissy squat or a curtsy squat and pressing into both legs. Taking the left hand down towards the floor, we'll take the right arm up and over. So we're finding a C shape with the right hand and right leg. And now lifting back to center, taking that right leg up and stepping it down about a foot over so that our feet are more in line with each other now, hinging at the waist for a pyramid pose. And now lifting the body back up, putting a bend to our left leg, back to a warrior three. And now bringing the right knee back up to the chest. And dropping it down, wiggling out. Now we'll do the other side, taking the arms out wide, moving our weight into our right foot. Picking up the left, we'll bring it up towards the chest, wrapping the arms around and squeezing it in. Keeping the leg where it is, taking the arms out wide again. Softening at the hip and the right leg so we can take the leg out to the side. So our calves should be kind of parallel to the floor. Now lengthening from that left leg, taking the foot back behind, warrior three. Inhale, lifting from the chest slightly. That left leg goes past the right side of the mat. Lengthening and pressing down through both feet. Right arm reaches towards the floor. Left comes up and over. Inhale, cartwheeling the chest back up. Stepping that left leg in a line with the right, hinging at the waist in a pyramid pose. Inhale, floating the chest back up, putting the bend into the right knee so we can lift the left up off the floor. Softening a little closer towards the floor. And our warrior three. Lifting and taking that left knee up towards the ceiling. And stepping it down. Wiggling out. Back up to the top of the mat if you've moved around a lot. With an inhale, we'll reach up. Lengthening from the fingertips. Exhale, hinging at the waist, forward fold. Inhale, half high, engage that core. Exhale, fold, planting the hands down, and we'll hop back to our plank. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide, pressing down. Shifting forward, chaturanga to lower, to our up dog or a cobra. Rolling up and over the feet, down dog. Pedaling out through the legs. We'll extend the left leg nice and long. And we'll bring it to the outside of the left hand. Lizard pose or dragon pose. You can stay lifted here, or we can drop the right knee down, finding whatever variation you need to your lizard pose to make it comfortable so you can soften the hips a little bit more. while still keeping lifted and tall through the chest. We'll press down through the right hand so we can sweep the left arm up towards the ceiling. Gentle twist. Bringing the left hand back around, scooting that foot in towards the hands if you need to, but we're going to send it back behind three-legged dog. We'll keep that left leg up. Shift forward. Chaturanga to our up dog, or cobra and back to our down dog. And drop the left leg down, wiggling out through the hips. Right leg goes long and steps to the outside of the right hand. Lizard pose on this side. We'll take a few breaths here. Pressing down through the left hand, sweeping the right arm up towards the ceiling. And back around through center. Right leg reaches up and back, three-legged dog. Shifting forward, chaturanga to our up dog and to our down dog. Drop the right leg down. Wiggling out some more. Now we'll do 3 spinal waves, taking the eyes to look back at the feet, dropping the top of the head towards the floor. We'll roll forward, taking the eyes out in front of the mat, dropping the knees to hover over the mat, sliding back towards the feet, lengthening the legs as we look back at the feet, rolling forward. Eyes go forward, knees soften down. Lengthen the legs. Roll forward. And slide back. Down dog. Left leg will lengthen. Shifting forward, we'll press the left leg towards the right side of the mat. Drop the right heel, lifting the arm up. Exhale, drop the hips. Our right hand will come around to the left side of the mat, pressing down, lifting the hips. Dropping the hips back down. And we'll soften this chest towards the floor. Reaching the arms towards the feet. Catching our breath. Beautiful. Left hand will come back around, lifting the hips, bringing the right hand, extending the left leg back, shifting forward. Chaturanga to our up dog and to our cobra. To our down dog. Dropping the left leg down, wiggling out some more. Right leg reaches back behind. Shifting forward, pressing the right leg towards the left side of the mat, lifting the hips as the left arm goes up. Drop the hips down to the mat. Taking the left arm around, lifting the hips again. And dropping them. Softening forward, straddle pose, catching your breath. Lifting back, right hand comes around, hips come up, left arm circles around, three-legged dog. To our chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and down dog again. Dropping the right foot, and we'll wiggle out through the hips. We'll step the hands one pace in closer towards the toes, lengthening as we press down through the hands, putting as much of a bend to the knees as we'd like, so we can really send that tailbone up and back behind. Walking the hands another pace in, and walking the hands the rest of the way towards the feet. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Staying here for a few breaths. You can nod the head, yes. Shake the head, no. You can grab for opposite elbows and find a sway to the body. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan diving the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, Tadasana. Beautiful. We'll make our way towards the top of the mat. Putting the feet about hips distance apart, we'll tuck the tailbone under, giving us a nice long spine as we send the hips forward. Dropping the hips down, putting a bend to the knees, chair pose. Hands come to heart center. We'll bring the left elbow across towards the right knee. Finding a very gentle twist. Untwisting the body, sending the arms back out in front, dropping the tailbone a little lower. Hands come to heart center. And we'll bring the right elbow across towards the left knee. Gentle twist. Now, slowly moving our weight into our left foot so we can pick up the right. Reaching it back behind before setting it down. Untwisting. Warrior one. Extending out through the left leg, dropping the right heel, and softening the hips forward. Now we can add a little bit of a bend to that the left knee, so we can press ourselves back up without using the hands. Lifting and twisting open that back foot and finding our right foot position for our warrior two. With our exhale, we'll bring the left elbow to the left knee, taking the right arm up past the top of the mat, keeping the chest lifted so we're not curling. Inhale, cartwheeling the arms. Right hand will come to the right leg, left will come up and over as we lengthen out through the front leg. Cartwheeling the arms again, keeping the left leg nice and straight as we take the right arm up, side angle. Still keeping that opening across the chest. We're not caving forward. Again, we'll float the body up, no hands, adding a little bend to the left knees. We can press down. And then cartwheeling the arms, facing the front of the mat, and stepping the right foot up. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan diving the arms, reaching us up to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Adjusting the feet, finding that perfect mountain pose, or the perfect for your body mountain pose. Tucking the tailbone under, putting a bend to the knees, softening the hips back to chair pose. Hands come in, and the right elbow comes across to the left knee. Gentle twist. Untwisting, chair pose. Softening the hips a little bit more. Hands come in, left elbow to the right knee. Gentle twist. Now slowly making our way onto our right foot, picking up the left, sending it back behind, dropping it down, untwisting, warrior one. Lengthening out through the front leg, dropping the heel, and folding. No-handed float back up. Putting the bend into the right knee as we wiggle that back foot around. Warrior two. Exhale, bringing the left hand up to the top of the mat, right elbow to the knee. Exhale, cartwheeling the arm, left hand comes to the leg, right arm comes up and over, leg lengthens towards straight. And we'll cartwheel again, finding our side angle. Chest stays open. No-handed float. Back up. Turning the chest to the front of the mat. Bringing the hands down, stepping up. Half high. Exhale to fold, reversing the arms, taking them up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Putting a bend to the knees, we can drop the hands down to the floor. If your feet are all the way together, you may want to step them apart a little bit more for balance. Left hand will scoot in, making a tripod with the feet. And with a big breath in, we'll take the right arm up, pressing down through the right leg. Exhale, cartwheeling back, taking the chest down. Right hand will scoot in towards center, left arm reaches us tall. So we press down through the left leg. And back through center. Inhale, half high. Exhale to fold. Planting the hands down, hopping back to our plank. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide, pressing down. Exhale, chaturanga nice and slow. Taking the slowest chaturanga we've done today. Taking our time and dropping all the way to the mat. We'll take the fingertips up past the top of the mat, and out a little further. With an inhale, finding a cobra. Exhale to soften. 2 more like this. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the trunk, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Exhale, soften. And 1 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. Sliding the hands under the shoulders, pressing up and back at down dog. Taking the eyes to look at the feet, rolling forward. Eyes go out in front of the mat, dropping the knees to hover, sliding back, lengthening the legs, and rolling forward. Sliding back. 1 more. Rolling forward. And sliding back. We'll scooch the hands in 1 pace, 1 step closer towards the toes. So we can shift forward so the shoulders are over the wrists, bending at the knees so they hover over the mat and find a bear pose. Now we can hold here if you'd like, or you can step 1 foot back, step the other foot back, step the opposite foot in. So we're reaching back to a plank and stepping into our bear pose. Back to bear pose, pressing through those fingertips. And we'll drop the knees the rest of the way down. Untucking the toes with an inhale, the eyes and tailbone will reach up. The stomach will drop to the floor. Exhale, curling in towards center, arching up through the spine. We'll move back and forth with our cat-cows. And back to our neutral spine tabletop. We'll tuck the toes under so we can stretch out the plantar fascia on the bottom of the feet. Walking the hands in so we're sitting on the heels. Lifting tall through the top of the head. Now, pressing down to the floor so we can lift the knees up off the mat. So we're balancing here on the toes. And we can stay here, focusing on the balance. We can drop the knees back down and focus on the stretch up the plantar fascia, or we can add a little bit of balance and stretch and hip flexor mobility by dropping one knee down towards the mat, lifting it up, and dropping the other knee down towards the mat. Going back and forth if we're doing this. Focusing on the micro adjustments that the body does to readjust the balance. Dropping the knees down to the mat again. If you'd like, you can untuck the toes and sit on the heels, or you can continue to sit on the toes if you're really liking that stretch. Now that the feet are flat, we're stretching out the tops of the feet and the fronts of the ankles, setting up tall. Dropping the chin to the chest, rolling the spine forward, and child's pose. Ragdolling up the spine, lifting the head and neck up. We'll circle the legs around so we're sitting on the floor. Legs go long in front of the body. And we'll point the toes up to the ceiling, engaging all the way up the legs so the kneecaps will gently pull up towards the hips as we sit tall, taking the arms up. Reaching with the fingertips, reaching up with the toes, holding here. At the end of each exhale, rechecking that posture, sitting up just a little bit taller. Pose really helps with posture on and off the mat. We're building strength in the back, in the core containment as a whole, and through the hip flexors. Exhale, we'll bring the arms down, taking the legs out wide towards our straddle pose again, rolling the hips forward or grabbing a pillow to sit on if that's helpful. And we'll stay here. Softening the chest forward. You can drop the arms down or reach as far as you can between the legs. You can also reach over to the toes and use that to help soften the chest a little bit. But finding a variation here that's restful but challenging at the same time. And with an inhale, we'll slowly lift the chest back up, bringing the legs together or hips distance apart in front of us, taking the arms back behind. We'll crawl the fingertips away from the hips towards the back of the mat. With an inhale, pulling the shoulder blades into the spine, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, and lifting up from the solar plexus. Rolling the shoulders forward, softening through the abdomen to help walk the hands back in a little waves. So they're still past the hips, further back than the hips, and we can press some weight into the hands. Now we're gonna find a front plank, and it's kind of optional whether you like to have your fingertips pointed away or pointed in towards the hips. It really just depends on your shoulder mobility and how is most comfortable to you. So if you get up in a front plank and it feels completely wrong, pull those shoulder blades into the spine a little bit to check, and then readjust the hands if needed. So pressing down through the fingertips, through the palms, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, pulling shoulder blades back and in to kiss at the spine. Long across the front of the collarbones, and taking the eyes up, either slightly or up towards the ceiling. If it's not comfortable on your neck to be up like that, take your eyes towards the front of your mat. Exhale, slowly dropping the hips back down towards the mat. And we'll wiggle out a little bit as we lower all the way down. Now walking the bottoms of the feet to plant on the floor so we can lift and rotate the hips if need be. Bringing the left knee into the chest. We'll give it a nice big squeeze, extending the right leg long. Now for our gentle twist, left knee goes across the right side of the mat. Back through center. Squeeze the left knee in for another hug. And switch legs. Left goes long, right hugs in. Now we'll reach the right knee across the left side. Again, a gentle twist. And back through center again. Squeezing in that right leg. We'll bring the left up as well, hugging both knees in. We can rock side to side. And maybe rock forward and back. We'll make our way to seated. And now if you would like to finish out your practice with a Shavasana, I highly recommend you do. Feel free to check out my extended Shavasana video. And if you're done with your practice today, go ahead and close your eyes. We'll reach tall through the top of the head, sitting up nice and straight and strong. Taking a large breath in through the nose. We'll release it out as a sigh. One more time. Big breath in through the nose. Out as a sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love and light.